afternoon, ladies. How are you all doing?
Good, Miss. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine, thanks. Today, ladies, I have some interesting topics that we're going to do. We are going to do flowcharts. We are going to be able to draw flowcharts at the end of this lesson. We're going to be able to troubleshoot some of the flowcharts. So you're going to draw the flowcharts and you're going to be aware of some of the things that you need to avoid when doing flowcharts. So let me show you where the notes are, the resources are, so you can follow along. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go to the class notebook. So if you can follow with me, we're going to the class notebook. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
So class notebook, and it's under flowchart. So we are doing, so when you come to your notebook, you should see your name. I can see everybody's name. So let's say Anna. So you're going in your handouts. So this is a handout you're gonna get. So you click on the flowcharts, and this is what you should see. Here you will see all the resources that we're going to do for today's lesson. So today is about flowcharts, and we're going to write instructions for a game. And these are the instructions. So you could come back later on and you can revisit these links. So these are the links. And the PowerPoint that we're going to follow along in. So you can come back and make your notes, and then we're going to do a group activity at the end. You will see that I have posted for you a link to play a game called Snake and Ladders. Does anybody know of that game, Snake and Ladders?
Yes, Miss. Yeah, Miss.
All right.
Yes,
so
miss.
I'm going to give you 3 minutes, and I want you to take note of the steps that you're following when playing the game. So I want you to click on the Snake and Ladder link, and it's going to open up. So if I click on it, it should open up in a new tab for me like so. And then you are going to take a few minutes and play it. Now, there are many ways that it can be played. It is playing online. I want you to play yourself and the computer. So the mode is not multiplayer, but it's just you want to play just yourself and the computer. So play now, and you're going to, I had originally intended for it to be game oriented where you want others to play, but I just want you to play just with yourself and the computer, and then we're going to come back and you're going to tell me what you thought about the game and what kind of concepts were there in the game. Right, so can you let me know if you're able to click on the link and it works?
Miss, a document come up for me.
No, it's the Snake and Ladders. No, you're clicking on the wrong one. It's the first one, the first link.
Miss, it's working for me.
Okay, so I'm going to give you, I'm timing it. 3 minutes exactly. You're not going to play all the way to the end of the game. If you want, you can. But for this purpose, I just want you to play the game so to get a general idea of how the game works. That's what I want you. So choose your option and go ahead and play. All right, that was 1 minute, 2 minutes. Can I have some feedback, please, on what you have noticed thus far? Anybody? Okay, that was 3 minutes. Ladies? Is it going that well that you don't want to stop?
Yes, miss, I almost won.
You like Snake and Ladders?
Yes,
Taylor,
miss.
do you like Snake and Ladders?
Yes, miss.
Did you know that this is a very old game? This was back in the days when there was no computer gaming. You actually had board games, and this is what we would play.
Yes, miss. I used to play this with my grandparents.
Wow. All right. So anyone wants to
Yes.
tell me very quickly, what was the game about, or what is the goal of the game, or the objective of the game, we shall say? Yes, anybody raise your hand and let me know, please, that you want to speak. Yes, Taylor, go ahead.
Miss getting to like the top of the board,
What is the top of the board?
like the end point.
The end point. All right. Thank you very much, Taylor. Anybody else?
Miss, try and get the ladders and not the snakes.
Ah, so are you saying there are some limitations, some things to observe when playing this game?
Yes, I would say so.
So these are the rules of the games. And did you read the instructions before? Did you read what was supposed to be done before you played the game? Or you just went in and played the game?
I just went in and played the game.
Okay, so how far did you reach? Did anybody reach 100?
Yes, miss.
Miss, I was eating a lot, so no.
All right. Okay, so ladies, did you notice any concepts here that we discussed while we were talking about programming? Any point, did you notice anything? Can you identify any programming concept, the control structures that we talked about? Now, we have done lessons on how to write algorithms, and we have done lessons on repeat and selection and sequence. Did you notice any of those structures in this game? Yes or no? Did you have a condition to determine if you can move forward? Or did you have a condition to determine if you can go up or down?
The ladder, miss.
All right. So can you say that if I land on a ladder, what do I do? If I land on a ladder, what do I do?
You go
Then you
up.
go up.
I go up the ladder. But if I land on a snake, what happens?
Go down.
You go
I go
down the
down.
snake.
Good. I get eaten by the snake. I go down the snake belly. There's another condition that you had to look out for, and which was very special. Can anybody identify what was the other condition? Hey, look, Shiana said she won. Good job, Shiana. Good job, Shiana. Anybody could tell me what else needed to happen when playing this and when you roll? It has to do with rolling the dice. What is something special about the dice? Oops. Go ahead. Did you notice anything about the dice?
Miss, when you get 6, you can play again.
All right. So if we were to write that in a programming statement, what would you say, Eliana? If dice, can you complete that for me?
If dice rolls on 6, then you can play again. Roll the dice again.
Roll again, correct. So notice that that is a repetition. Is it a repetition? Yes or no? Is it repetition?
Yes, miss. Small one.
It is repetition. So can you say that there was repetition in this game?
Yes, miss.
Can you say there was conditional statements or conditions that determine whether you could do something in this game?
Yes.
All right. All right. So Shiana won. One thing I did observe when I played the game is that you had to get exactly 100. You had to move your token all the way to 100. You had to get the exact 100 to win. Right. So far we saw iteration, and we saw selection, and we saw sequence. And sequence would be following the order. Move your token, roll your dice, and advance. Let us now look at flowcharts. Now, we said that you can write steps to accomplish a task. You can write steps to solve a problem. Today, we're going to look at flowcharts, which show you how to create a solution, but in a diagram form. So we are going to create a diagram. A flowchart is a diagram using shapes to represent a solution. Now, some people are able to understand shapes or see and understand, pick up what is follow along better than others with the use of shapes. So a flowchart is very useful in showing the order or the process. So let's go straight into it. Are you seeing my screen? And you should see flowcharts on the screen. Let me know, please. Are you seeing my screen?
Yeah, miss.
All right. So flowcharts. What is a flowchart? A flowchart is a diagram depicting a process with the use of shapes, and each shape is connected with arrows. Here are some of the shapes that you, Taylor, your mic. Taylor? Okay, so here are the shapes, flowchart shapes. These are the shapes that you're going to learn. Start. This means you want to start or stop. This is where your process starts and ends. You are always supposed to include a start and stop in any flowchart you do. These are the other shapes. A parallelogram. This is a parallelogram, and this is going to be used only when you have the input data from the user and when you want to output data on the screen. The arrow. As you can guess, the arrow is used for direction or to show the flow, the order which things must go. Then you have a rectangle, which is a process. A process. What is a process? Anybody wants to tell me what is a process? Shiana, can you tell me what is a process? Shiana, Sheridan, Chanel.
It's like,
Yes, Shiana.
It's like the way you go about doing something.
That again?
It's the way you go about doing something.
All right. I would like to clarify, and I'd like to say a process is a task that needs to be completed. And tasks, we have talked about tasks, so finding the sum. So process is a rectangle, and then we have a diamond or a rhombus, and this is to show a decision. A decision or condition simply means I'm asking a question or I need to check if something has occurred. So these are the shapes that you need to learn, and I'd like you to pay attention to the shapes. When constructing your flowchart, you need to use the correct shape to represent the task that you are doing. So here, in a nutshell, the names of the shapes and their functions, and you're to learn this. Start or end, it's an oval and it represents start or end. Arrows for direction or the flow. Parallelogram for inputs and or output. So you can use a parallelogram for if you want to put data in and you also want to print something to the screen. You have a process, and that's a rectangle, and a process can be things like you're calculating the sum. Sum is equal to A plus B. Average is equal to sum divided by. So anything that requires you the use of an equal sign or a task that needs to be completed, we say that's a process. Next, we have the decision, and that is to indicate a question. So really ask questions in there. And something you need to know, you are going to use this option as a flowchart or pseudocode for your SBA. And when you're creating your solution, some more notes here, you always include all the shapes to represent the tasks that you're doing. So let's just go through. This is used to start and end of a program, showing the flow, parallelogram, accepting or printing data, and any process. Stir the ingredients, spread the jam on the bread, move the sprite to the left, and your decision, your question. And it must always be followed by yes or no. Be careful. When you have data going into a question, into a diamond, there must always be a yes or no coming from it. There can only be two outcomes, either it's yes or no. This is an example of a flowchart. Notice the start, the data goes in here. This is your condition. You ask something, yes or no. If the question you ask, the answer is yes, we go this way. Do a task. No. And we go back up. Now this means that we are repeating. We're going to, once this condition is true, we're going to do something, and then we're going to test the condition to see if it's time to move on, and then we're going to go again. And if the condition is no, we go down to the end. So you're really using the arrows to show the flow, the way things are going to happen in your diagram. You're showing the order, the process. The diamond must always have the yes or no. It doesn't matter which side it goes on, and once you indicate it and you logically outline the flow or the action that you want to take place. The diamond shape must always contain two arrows. Obviously, we'll have one going in to send the data into it to ask the question, and then you will have yes or no at the end. So here's some guidelines that we ought to follow. Each flowchart must have a start and stop. Use arrows to correctly show the flow of the process. if you don't have your arrows, we're not going to be able to understand and see how it's flowing. We're not going to see what action to take. Which direction do you want us to go in? Use the correct shape that represents the task. So you have some shapes there. Can you give me, can you recall for me, what are the shapes? Chanel, what are the shapes? Oh, give me, name a shape.
Miss, a rectangle.
And what is the rectangle for?
That was used for like putting like the prompt thing.
A rectangle for the prompt? Can somebody say yay or nay? Can somebody say if that's correct or it's wrong? All right, so let's.
Miss, it will be used for the process.
Correct. Rectangle is a process, right? So Shiana, it's make sure you understand what the shapes are for. So I'm just gonna bring it back here for the sake of Shiana, Chanel. So here we go. Rectangles are process. That's you're gonna do something. So you need to learn your shapes. You cannot construct the flowchart if you don't know which shape is for which. So you're gonna have to learn your shapes. All right. So take a few minutes and you're gonna just look at the shapes, please. 1 minute to look at the, well, 30 seconds to look at the shapes and look at what you use it for. I'll now repeat. Start and stop, arrow, parallelogram for input or output. So it's used for both. Process and a diamond for asking questions. All right, we're gonna use the shape. So hold that in your thoughts. This is what a shape, when we put the shapes together, it should give us something like this. Let's move on. And the guidelines, I went over the guidelines. Let's move on. This is an example. What is the solution to the question? Take a look at it. This is how to correctly use your flowchart, diamond. So look at the question here. Given that P is 4 and Q is 10, what should be printed? So we're asking a question in the diamond. P is greater than Q. Yes. Is the answer correct? The value of P is 4 and the value of Q is 10. Is 4 greater than 10? Is that yes or no? Jade, is that yes or no? Or you can type in the chat. What is the outcome of this flowchart? Jade? Can someone type the, yes, Jade?
Miss, if P is greater than, if, which one?
So P is greater than Q, yes or no?
No.
All right, so we go to the no, because 4 is actually less than 10. So we go this direction. Do you see it? We go this direction. And the value of QA, thank you, Jade. The value of QA is going to be, what is the current value of Q? 10. 10 minus 4 would give us 6. So the value of QA would be 6. So we are going to, yes, Jade, tell me what the answer will be.
6.
Correct. So it's going to print the value of QA. Now, look at this here. This is just showing us the direction to follow. So it's giving us direction. Flow. We follow the arrows. Another example could be this, and this is selection. Selection means to revise what we already know. Asking a question and do something based on the outcome. So if the temperature is less than 32, yes, we're going to cover the tomatoes. If it is no, uncover. Now notice we're only doing 1 out of 2 choices here. We're only going to do 1 out of 2 things, right? So if you have selection, you have to make a decision based on a condition and you go that direction. Now, what about repetition? You saw a lot of repetition in that snake and ladder. Can you give an example of repetition in that snake and ladder game? Again, somebody. Anyone? Can you give me an example of repetition? We discussed it already, but I just want to reinforce what you already know. Can you give me an example of where repetition occurred in the snake and ladder game?
Mr. Dice.
The dice. Very good. Very good, Jade. Anybody else? When did you stop playing the game?
When it was like the other person's in.
All right. So you waited your turn, but you go ahead.
Miss, when someone reaches 100.
When someone reaches 100, you stop playing the game because they won. There's no point in continuing. So the game was played. There were conditions. There were rules to follow. If this happens, do this. If this happens, do this. And then continue repeatedly. Roll the dice. And a special bonus if you land on 6, roll the dice again. That is something we all love. Roll the dice again. When you get a 6, you go roll the dice again. So you can move up further and reach and win. So you're going to continue rolling the dice. But you didn't roll the dice all the time. You had to wait your turn. Only roll the dice again. You get an extra chance to roll the dice when you landed on 6, when you roll the dice on 6. All right, sorry, I didn't finish this question. So this is an example here. You got some data and yes or no, you do something. Now notice we went this way and we went back up. That was an example of repetition. When you went through the steps and you didn't land on 6 and you advance your token, you stop and you wait your turn. And when it was your turn again, you did the entire process all over again. And this is an example of repetition. So when you construct your flowchart, remember, whenever you see this or whenever you have to do a repetition, it goes back up like this. So this is an example of repetition. And you can see from the moment here, you see like a flow, a waterfall, just going back and forth. You're gonna keep testing the condition and do the same thing again until this condition here becomes false. All right, so here we are now. Does this flowchart contain repetition? Yes or no? You could type Y-O-N in the chat. Does this flowchart here, look at it, put on clothes, ride less than 2 hours? Is it less than 2 hours you've been riding? Yes, well then ride for 15 more minutes, drink your water, and then check again. If you have been riding for more than 2 hours, then you can stop. Does this flowchart contain repetition? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, it does. And it is shown by here. Sorry, here, where you come here and you come back into to test the condition. Let's practice now. I'm going to give you some questions and you're going to answer. Name the shape used for the following. If I want to print a number on the screen, what shape can I use here? You could raise your hand or you could type in the chat. Are you raising your hand or are you typing in the chat? I'm not seeing anything in the chat. You could use the first letter or you could type the word. Anybody? Can you answer? What shape will I use to print a number on the screen? Which of these shapes here? Matea, parallelogram. Very good. I'm going to print something on the screen. Now, all of this you need to know beforehand when you create your flowcharts. Good job. Name the shape used. So the answer is parallelogram. Next one, name the shape used for the following. If I want to ask or if I want to use, is the total greater than 20? What shape do I use? Is the shape greater than 20?
Miss, a diamond.
Very good. Very good, Eliana. Diamond. Now, flowcharts are very easy once you know your shapes. How about this one? Name the shape used for the following. Accept a number from the user. Anyone? What shape will I use to accept a number from the user? Anybody?
Miss, a parallelogram as well.
Parallelogram. Okay, good. Thank you, Matea. All right. And what shape? This is a giveaway. Which shape is used for start or stop?
Miss, an oval.
Very good. Thank you. It's Chanel. Okay. All right. Now this is an actual past paper question. I forgot to put the year, but I want you to look at it now and see. CXC normally gives you a snippet of a flowchart and ask you to do something. It says here, wait for the bus. Are you late for the bus? Then walk to school. I said then. Wait for the bus. Are you late for the bus? Walk to school. Can you tell me where things will go here? So say this is 1. All right, Taylor. Wait for the bus. Are you late for the bus? Walk to school. Can anyone tell me where these labels would go in these shapes here? Anyone?
Miss, are you late for the bus? Will go in the diamond.
Correct. Are you late for the bus? Why did you say are you late for the bus? Will go in a diamond. Jade, can you explain?
Because it's a question, so it's a decision, and diamonds do decisions.
Excellent. All right. So somebody else. So are you late for the bus? Goes in a diamond. What goes after? Or what shapes? What other shapes will the other data go into? The labels will go in what shape? Which one? First of all, we need to say which one is going, which direction are we going? Yes or no? So can somebody tell me yes or no? Where would it go? Where? How can we label it? Jay, do you want to continue since you gave me the question? Can I write on this? Let's see.
Miss, are you late for the bus? The left would be walk to school.
Are you late for the bus? So say that again, sorry.
Are you late for the bus? On the left would be walk to school.
So if I'm late for the bus, yes. Walk to school?
Yeah.
And what about the other side?
The other side would be no. So it would then the rectangle underneath will be wait for the bus.
So wait. All right. Okay. Let's see. I worked it out on the other one for you. So it should be, are you late for the bus? Yes. Then you'll need to walk to school. No. Wait for the bus. But notice something. If I'm late for the bus, I wait for the bus. And then look at the arrow. I'm going back up to check to see. So I'm checking. Am I late for the bus? All right. No, it doesn't look so. I continue to wait for the bus. Look, follow with me. Follow with me. And then you go back up. Am I late for the bus? Check my watch again. Am I late for the bus? No, I think I have some time. I keep on waiting, all right? But let's say I've been waiting so long. Oh my gosh. Yes. I'm late. The bus either has not come or I missed it. Then I will have no choice but to walk to school. So this is how you represent a situation using flowchart. And does this flowchart have repetition? Anyone can answer that? YON? Yes or no? Does this flowchart have repetition?
Yes, miss.
Where's the repetition?
When the question has a no reply, and then you have to go back up to see until it says yes.
Excellent.
If you're actually late.
Very good. Now this one is question 10, question B, 2016. So read the following program segment, read salary. Can you tell me what shape would we put read salary in? Which shape here would we put read salary in? Out of all these shapes here now, it's not labeled. It could have been labeled. So can you tell me what shape can we put the, so let me see if I can label this. What shapes do I use? So this is an actual question. You're given this and you're given this. How do you approach it? Now, for the purposes of this presentation, I'm just going to label it 1, 2, 3. My apologies. 4, 5. Anybody could tell me? Where do we put read salary in this scope? Read salary. What shape? Where do we place it? Ladies?
Miss, it could be in 1.
Correct. Because you first need to get this value before you do anything. Next, Chanel, can you tell me, what about if salary is less than or equal to 5,000? Where do I put that statement in this flowchart? Yes, Chanel? Matea? Anybody want to tell me where do I put that question? Yes.
Hi, Miss, my laptop had stick, sorry.
Not a problem.
Can you just repeat it, please?
I'm asking you, where do I put if salary is less than or equal to 5,000 in this diagram here, and I've labeled it for you.
In the diamond.
Number 4. Do you all agree with this? Do you all agree? It's a question and goes in here. Okay, tax is equal to 0. Where do I put that? Now there's a Y and the N on the side here. So if this salary is less than 5,000, tax is equal to 0. Where do I put that?
Missing 3.
Excellent, Jade. So that means if I put that in 3, then the other one, tax is equal to salary minus that will go into 4. And then right tax, obviously, will have to go in 5. And we know this, we know this because it's a right statement. It goes in a parallelogram. That is how you figure out where to put things. So this is what your answer should be. Read the salary and apply. All right. Can you tell me any errors, 2 errors that you see in this diagram based on what we have shared or we learned from today? Anyone? Can you all tell me what else is wrong? What is wrong with this?
Arrows.
Say that again?
The arrows.
The arrows? What about the arrows?
They're not connected. Okay, so like the rectangle on the right, it's not connected to anything really.
Okay, no, but this is like a little snippet of the code. It's a little snippet of the code and asking what's wrong with it. Should you have 2 inputs going into the diamond? Yes or no?
No, man.
No. So therefore, this is one of it is wrong, and something else is missing that I told you specifically. Your diamond must always have what coming out from the diamond? What must it always have?
Miss a yes and a no.
Correct, and that is missing, right? So the wrong direction and the label is missing. How about this one? Is there anything wrong with this diagram? Very quickly, what is wrong?
Direction.
Direction. So what about the direction?
It has no direction of the arrows to tell you the real sequence of the process.
Yes, but something in particular. Right? Yes, correct. The arrows. There are no arrows. So therefore, there is no direction. Correct. There's one more thing that's wrong. Can anybody spot it? This is 2016 January, question 11B. Can anybody spot anything wrong from what we learned today? Or what we have been exposed to today? Is there anything wrong with this diagram?
Misprint notations isn't supposed to be in your rectangle.
Excellent. The wrong shape. Wrong shape. Now, we want to create a flow chart for our snakes and ladder game. Now, you have been given a template to work with. So I want you to, in your groups, I'm giving you, I'm going to assign you to groups, and you're going to share, work in your groups and come back 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 2 minutes to think about the instructions that you would use to play the game. And then you're going to take those instructions and construct the flow chart. And then there will be an assignment posted for you, a flow chart question that you're going to attempt. So I'm going to just put you in groups now, and you're going to create that flow chart, and you're going to create for me, write down the steps for me, how to play the game. So I'm just going to stop sharing here and just pull the document up, and I'm going to show you what I want you to do. So in the chat, you will see, in the chat, you're going to see a link to access chat. Hold on, I'm waiting for my chat. So go to the chat and you will see there's a document here, Snakes and Ladders, and you are going to access it. And you are going to, I think I stopped sharing. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to stop presenting for a second. And if you click on the link, let me just now present, and I'm going to just present my screen, and I'm just going to show you what a document looks like. So this is what a document looks like. So ladies, snakes and ladders, rules of snake and ladder. What is the goal? I want you to work together in your group. What is your goal? And I want you to write down the steps for the snake and ladder. And then I've created a Jamboard for you, and you're going to click on the Jamboard, click on it, and you're going to create your shapes. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do that now. So ladies, so you're going to click on the links and you're going to enter your data. So I see somebody already on the document. So I'm going to pause the sharing and the recording, and I'm just going to resume. So ladies, do we understand what we are doing? Do we understand what we are doing? Do you understand what you're doing, ladies?
Yes, miss.
All right, so we're going to take just 5 minutes and we're going to just complete that. What is the instructions, and see if we can put together that flow chart. You've been working in your groups, and can you let me know how did it work out? Were you able to draw a solution? Now it would not, you need more time for this, but I wanted you to see if you can construct this diagram, or if you, was it difficult? Ladies, was it difficult?
It was okay, ma'am.
It was okay?
Yeah.
Anybody else? Any feedback from anybody else? Let me know. All right, so I'm going to just show what you have been working on. So I have here, let me just share my screen, and we're going to wrap up. So I already have the document up that you have been working with. So do you think that this is the document here that you have been working on? So let's see what you have. The goal here, reach 100 before the other players. Excellent. Roll the dice, read the number on the face of the dice, move your piece according to the number displayed in the appropriate direction. If you landed on an empty square, you are safe. If you are landed on a ladder, slide up the ladder. If you landed on a snake's mouth, slide down the snake. Repeat until reached 100 square, and you have won the game. One thing, excellent, but one thing I felt that you're missing, did you not incorporate, what about if I get a 6 and I roll the dice? Can anybody tell me what I would have to modify in this if I rolled on a 6 and I got a 6? Anybody? What would be missing here, students? What might be missing there if I rolled on a 6?
Miss, if you roll on a 6, then roll a second time.
Yes, right. So that is missing. Can anybody present their screen and show me their solution, and we will discuss one and I will check the other one because I've run out of time. Matea, you want to show me your group's work? Or somebody else?
Document, I wasn't able to like move anything. I couldn't type.
In the Jamboard, it was the Jamboard.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Eliana, you all worked on anything in the Jamboard? I saw people working on the Jamboard.
Yes, miss, I did something on the Jamboard.
Jade, you want to share your screen and show us?
Okay, miss.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. You just show me very quickly. All right, good. I see some arrows here. Wait your turn. Roll the dice. So start, is it your turn? Yes. Roll the dice. Advance token to the number. Did I reach 100? This yes is for down here. No. Okay, so did I land on a ladder? Move up the ladder. So I guess that yes is there. Did I, what is this? Okay, no, land, if no, I land on a snake. Yes, go down the snake. No, did I, what is that? All right. Did I roll on a 6? Then if I roll on a 6, you're supposed to go back up and have your ladder going back up here to roll again, right? But do you all agree with this? Do you all agree with this solution? Anybody? Do you think you understand what's going on here? Students? Now it's there for you to see, so you can go back in and look at it. Students, did you enjoy this activity today?
Yes.
Yes, miss, I did.
All right. What is one thing you think you remember or you will remember about today's activity? Flowchart. And I'm wrapping up now. Anyone? Type in the chat. One thing you remember or one thing you found was very useful and you enjoyed a lot from today's class. Yes, Mateo, you can leave. Type in the chat or you can just let me know. Do you think flowcharts are useful and you think the diamonds are for questions? Good.
I learned what each symbol with each shape stands for and how to sequence it in a flowchart diagram.
All right. All right, ladies, this is the end of class for today. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you all next day when we actually practice more of this. Don't forget your homework has been posted to do a question. So go ahead and attempt that, and I'll see you next day, and I'll give feedback to the other groups on the Jamboard. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.